It's the first business day of the week. Welcome to Business Incorporated, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu. On the program today, biggest African phone tower firms plan 2018 IPOs. South Africa's Tiger Brands full-year profit takes up in weak economy. Plus, IMF credit to charge delayed over Glencore oil debt. We get started now with the markets, and South African JSE index traded low at intraday after S&P Global Ratings on Friday downgraded the country's local currency debt to sub-investment grade, while Moody's placed the country on review for downgrade. The index was down 0.25%. In Egypt, the benchmark index was down 0.28% after more than 300 people were killed in a militant attack in northern Sinai on Friday. And back here in Nigeria, the index was in the red at intraday, down 0.12%. Kenya closed in the green on Friday. In the Middle East, the markets were mixed at intraday, with Saudi Arabia getting support from Al Job Cement and Saudi Industrial Export Company after the companies announced an export deal with Jordan. The Saudi index climbed 0.52% as Al Job surged 5% and Saudi Industrial Export jumped 6.4% in an unusually heavy trade. Saudi Industrial Export said it had signed a sale and marketing contract with Al Job to supply 72,000 tons of cement annually to Jordan. In Qatar, the main index rebounded 0.12% as real estate firm Edston Holding, which was downgraded to junk status by credit rating agency Standard & Poor's earlier this month, climbed 3.5%. It has been recovering since late last week, but is still down 48% year to date. Dubai's index was down 0.13%, although Drake & Score rose 1.2% after it announced its shares had been included in the MSCI GCC index. And in Abu Dhabi, the index was down 0.18%. Move over to Europe now, where stocks were lower in early trade on the back of weakness in Asian equities. And Europe's banking index was around 0.4% lower shortly after an unexpected announcement from Switzerland's third largest bank, Julius Baer's, that its chief executive, Boris Collardi, has resigned. Now let's talk to Daniel for more from the European market space. Good afternoon, Daniel. A beautiful week. How was your weekend?
Yeah, beautiful Monday to you. My weekend was just fine. Went to Berlin, visited some of the folks at Deutsche Welle. We were also at a Christmas party, but now it's back at the stock exchange.
I guess it was all fun. Back to work. Now, the German authorities are querying Lufthansa for charging passengers more money on the same route. Bring us up to speed on this development and what the market sentiments are for this major carrier.
Well, we remember that Air Berlin, the second biggest carrier here in Germany, had to declare bankruptcy just a few months ago, and it actually finished their operation just a few weeks ago. And many passengers, but also consumer activists, were fearing that Lufthansa, the biggest German carrier, could have kind of a monopoly here in Germany, but also in Europe, because many routes that were in the past operated by Air Berlin are now just in the hand of Lufthansa. Let me just tell you one example. For example, the route right now between Frankfurt, where our biggest airport in Germany is located, and Berlin. There are at the moment just Lufthansa flights operating, and those flights are really full. I really also noticed that this weekend, and many people are now saying that they have noticed that those ticket prices on those routes really have been going up. That's why we are hearing that cartel authorities here in Germany have announced that they will look into this because they really don't want this to happen, because because this was one of the main concerns that those cartel authorities already stated earlier. Just let me tell you and talk you a little bit through about the Lufthansa share price. Lufthansa share price holders will be very happy by the end of the year. The Lufthansa shares have been winning almost 170% this year. Very interesting, because there was a time where people were actually saying that Lufthansa shares shouldn't be anymore listed in the blue chip index DAX, but those shares of the company also, because of the bankruptcy of Air Berlin, has really benefited by all of this.
Well, incidentally, the DAX doesn't seem to be doing okay right now. Now, does it have to do, is it about the CEO changes, the food giant Unilever and Julius Baer, the Swiss private banking group? Now, what are the key issues that investors and the market need to know about this at this time?
Yeah, you just mentioned the DAX. Let me just tell you one thing, because that's why we're seeing this roller coaster right now. The blue chip index DAX is a little bit suffering because of the very strong euro that we're seeing at the moment, with about €1.19. And kind of what investors here at the stock market are missing are pretty much news and lots of stimulus that we are not getting at the moment. But talking about those CEO changes, this is certainly a big topic also here, monitored by investors, and mostly Julius Baer, that the CEO is departing and moving on to another private bank located in Geneva. This came totally as a surprise for investors, but we are hearing also for employees of Julius Baer. The new interim CEO of Julius Baer is going to be Bernd Hottler. He has been with the company for already quite some time in the management. It has not been announced yet if this is just going to be an interim position or if he's really going to be in the seat of command. Shares at the SMI were really affected by this today. Shares of Julius Baer were falling with more than 4.2%. And yeah, also you just mentioned the other company. We are also hearing that there's also going to be a change as well. And right now the company has already a contract with a big agency